Hi, I'm Steve Miletto from the Teaching, Learning, Leading K-12 podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Welcome to Fresh Air at 5, the podcast. I'm your host, Brian Carpenter, coming to you every week from Abbotsford, which is about 45 minutes east of Vancouver, British Columbia, on the west coast of Canada. Fresh Air at 5 is my regular attempt to get some fresh air by walking about my neighborhood, which is located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Stolo people, the Simath First Nation and Mathwee First Nation. I consume podcast content while I walk, then reflect on this content in an unedited video, which I post on my X, formerly known as Twitter, channel every day. This podcast is the collection of the audio taken from those daily selfie videos over the course of a week, Monday to Friday. So let's jump into my listening and learning this past week. Good morning, PLN. It is Monday, March 18. Here we go. Spring break has begun. It started on Friday afternoon for me. I've had a fantastic, relaxing weekend. I think I've been in bed each night by 10 p.m., if not 8:30 one night already on the weekend, and enjoying getting some rest. Yesterday, my wife and I started yard cleanup. We got the yard cleaned up from the fall and cleared out the garden, all the leaves underneath the cedars, and the back of my truck is full. I got to go to the compost dump today to take all of it in, and that's super exciting. I was commenting to her about how I used to not enjoy yard cleanup, but it's a necessary function when you're in a house and you have a home and a yard. And this year, I was like, I'm not going to start it, but when she starts it, I'll be right there with her. We had a fantastic time yesterday, so it was just a joy to spend time with my wife cleaning up the yard. All right, later this week I got some things coming. Spring cues coming, mentioned that already before, but I'll give you some more updates as we go along, and I'll take you on my travels when I go to California. All right, this morning, as I'm walking, I listened to Season 4, Episode 26 of Teach Happier, entitled Overwhelmed and Overcommitted. Try this. And Suzanne, I really like your approach about changing small things and making small shifts in our ways we approach things. I took you up on the, thanks for spending time with me last week. And a couple of people that I said that to were like, oh, wow, you're welcome. And they were taken aback a little bit by that, not in a bad way. But yes, today is about overcommitting and saying yes too much. I'm a yes person. I like to say yes. I like to volunteer. I like to do all those things. And I think I answered 4 out of 3 on those questions you said, Suzanne. We need to make sure that we are saying no a little bit and managing our energy. Energy is a key part of this. So take a listen for yourself. Suzanne says it much better than I. All right, that's all I got for right now. Coming back with you. A couple more things. Okay, bye. One more thing for March 18, 2024. I just listened to Tech Tools for Teachers, episode 178. Shannon Martin brings us SimPop Science Simulator. And so it is a website that has a number of science simulations on it. Considered much simpler than FET out of Colorado. This SimPop website allows you and students to investigate science and math concepts in a easy-to-use, navigate user interface that they can get around on, and you can have them screen share. I like your idea, Shanna, about having students screen share to share their learning instead of writing a lab report. So that's another way of doing it. Check it out, Tech Tools for Teachers, SimPop Science Simulator. So fantastic. All right, looking forward to the next listen we've got coming up. What are you listening to? All right, talk to you soon. Oh, Shanna, I'm going to send stickers in the mail soon. Actually, I'm going to put them in the mail today because I'm on spring break and I've got a smidge more time. So talk to you soon. Okay, bye. The last thing for March 18, 2024, I listened to the House of EdTech, episode 243, where Chris brings us some ideas about how to approach using AI in a systematic way and have some good strategies to get the best results we can out of using AI. Things that you can share with your students, other colleagues, so that we can use this tool effectively and then not be distracted by the hallucinations and the other things that go on, but we can hopefully get the results out that we are after, and it can become a useful tool as opposed to a distracting tool. All right, Chris also brings us Humany, H-U-M-N-Y, I think. You have to look in the show notes, but Chris has for us an AI app that is tailored to humanities and social studies teachers and history teachers. And I haven't looked at it myself, but this is a recommendation. So if you're in that category, take a listen to what he has to say and go check out this tool. Not necessarily saying you have to use it in your classroom, but hey, if we don't have a way of sharing the things that we're learning about, then what are we learning for? So that's what I'm doing right now. Chris has the Final Four, the March Madness Final Four coming up. He starts off with 32, and this year is AI-based tools, things that have AI incorporated in them somehow. And we are going to get that down to 4 by the end of the month. And yes, voting is on his website, so you can go to House of EdTech Final Four, somewhere around there. The link is in the show notes for this episode, so you can go find the link there, and so you can go vote. I'm going to go home. I'm going to vote. Hey, Chris, about your, am I trying hard enough? Thoughts from a couple weeks ago. I did reflect on my voice memo here in Twitter, so you missed that. But I do think you are trying hard enough. You're doing a great job of all the things that you're doing, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. Okay, that's all I got. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Hey, PLN, March 19, 2024, out for Fresh Start 5. It is clear, plus 4 degrees Celsius. I'm wearing my toque because it is chilly. Today we're expecting a high of 18 Celsius, and this past weekend was absolutely beautiful as we had some nice weather, did some yard work and things like that. All right, less than 24 hours until I get on an airplane now, out of Abbotsford, headed to Palm Springs. Super excited about Spring Q. Looking forward to that and all it will afford. All right, this morning I listened to episode 16 of Embrace the Messy podcast with Shannon Schenkel out of Prince George, British Columbia. You can follow her on Twitter. She is at Drama Queen BRC. And not because she brings drama, but, well, she's a drama teacher, so she does bring drama. Like, teaches drama. And it was fantastic to listen to the episode 16 of Embrace the Messy podcast as this guy, Brian Carpenter, embraces the messy. That's me. And back in December, we recorded an episode of Embrace the Messy podcast. And we sat down, she there and I here over Zoom, and we recorded and talked about all things from creativity to assessment to reflection as so very important. And it was really good to go back and listen to our conversation. I remember many of the things we talked about, but I didn't remember exactly what we talked about. So if you'd like to hear a bit more about my story and where Carpenter comes from and why I do some of the things that I do, take a listen to episode 16 of Embrace the Messy. It's, so thank you so much, Shannon. I really do appreciate our conversation and our interactions over the past about a year that we've been connected to each other. And I'm going to share this episode with a number of people as I go to Spring Q. I'm going to tell them to listen while they're driving and traveling. And so yes. All right. Thank you all. I'm going to share this with my dad too, because he's a big fan, and my mom. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Okay, bye. PLN, it is early on March 20th, 2024. I'm at the Abbotsford Airport, headed to Spring Q. So this is day 0 of spring. Spring officially started at 11:06 p.m. last evening, and I'm just heading into the airport, heading to Palm Springs, California. All right, we'll talk to you on the way. Bye. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, on my way to Palm Springs, and look at that snowy weather behind me. Actually, legit, outside, they've got snow on the ground, planes are covered in snow, they got a de-ice, and I'm here for about 3 hours now. I'm gonna go find some breakfast and do some more podcast listening. But while I was on the plane, I listened to episode 16 of The Generative Age with Alana Winnick, and thank you, Alana, for this fantastic interview that you had with Ken Shelton. And Ken, it's been a long time since we've connected. It was way back in, I think, 2015 at Mulgrave School in Vancouver for Google Summit. And I went to your website, Google Sites Design, workshop that you taught, and it was fantastic. Yes, glad to hear you talking about AI and doing all the things that you do, and talking about the bias and cultural responsivity and things we need to do. Everybody, you need to go listen to this episode, because I will not do it justice here in Fresh Air at 5. It's episode 16 of The Generative Age with Alana Winnick. And yes, a lot to hear. I need to go back and listen to it again, because the way you talked about prompting and about asking AI to clarify and provide rationale and those kinds of things, that's super important. And for us to teach our students how to do that. My initial foray into AI literacy with my students barely is even touch on this, but starting is better than not at all. So I think I'm on my way. Yes, headed to Spring Q, and this is day 0 of Spring Q for me, travel day. And Spring Q doesn't officially start till tomorrow, even though the spring season started last night at 11:10 p.m. Pacific time. All right, that's all I got for now. We'll talk to you soon. We'll keep in touch. Okay, thanks, bye. One more thing for March 20, 2024. I'm here in Calgary, and it's still snowing, and my plane is going to come up here eventually. And we're now delayed. And so, like Lainey was talking about in episode 94 of Evolving with Gratitude, as she talks about emotional contagion, a way of spreading feelings of happiness and joy, from a Thrive Global article that she had written. It's about the little things and how we connect with those people. I just sat in a cafe for probably the past 2 hours while I was waiting, and got a chance to talk to the waitresses that were there and just talk about, what they're doing, what I'm doing, and just, connecting. It's those connection times. I don't know these people at all, but it's about how we, can just connect for just a moment and spread a little joy. It's about the caretakers at school that just keep your school clean. Yesterday I was there dropping in to check on our salmon, and there were 2 new caretakers at our school because it's spring break and they're doing a deep clean. I didn't know them at all, but I just said, hey, thanks for cleaning our school. Things like that. So what are you going to do today to make somebody's day? I liked, Lainey, your idea about having the little gratitude cards in your purse that you pull out and you distribute. I could do something like that, make a little graphic and say, hey, even though I don't know you, I appreciate what you just did for me. All right, with that, take a listen to episode 94 of Evolving with Gratitude, and I will carry on traveling to Palm Springs. Doesn't look like summer out there at all here in Calgary, does it? Nope, not at all. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. One more thing for March 28th here in the Calgary airport still. I was supposed to leave on my flight to Edmonton, but I got an upgrade that I don't have to fly to Edmonton, so I am flying direct to Palm Springs from Calgary, which is super awesome. I'll arrive about half an hour, 45 minutes before my flight from Edmonton. So I'm going the shorter direction than the longer direction. All right, this afternoon I listened to Easy EdTech podcast with Monica Burns, episode 259, as she gives us some tips and ideas for prompts to use with Gemini, Google's AI chatbot. And so I don't have access directly to Gemini at this point, but I will have to dig into it and take a look at Gemini. I haven't used it at all because we are no longer a Google district where I work. So I have less contact with Google than before, but I'm still using it personally at home, and I'll have to take a look and see what Gemini can do for me for being a teacher, using my personal account, and things beyond that. The integration with Google Tools makes a whole lot of sense. There's a whole lot of things that are there. Thing that I like to hear about Gemini is the saved chat history. In my district, we're using Microsoft, and Microsoft Edge has Copilot sitting right on the right-hand side, but because we're an EDU, our district has it so it doesn't remember chat history. So every time I chat, it's a fresh go. So I like the idea that Gemini records chat history, or at least the version that Monica's talking about. Maybe Copilot can do the same, but it's not set up to do that right now. And yes. All right, so a lot of the things that I heard Monica say make sense. They are ways of thinking about using AI chatbots, and we just have to get in and play with them and become more adept at prompting so that we can efficiently, get the results out that we're looking for. All right, that's all I got for now. I'm probably going to listen to another podcast on the flight, and I'll report in from Palm Springs later. Thanks, bye. All right, the last thing for March 2024, I am arrived in Palm Springs. Do I know the temperature yet? It is 28 degrees Celsius and beautiful and sunny. Very different from where I was about 3 hours ago when I left Calgary. So on the way down, I listened to episode 159 of Fresh Air. No, that's me. Sorry, guys. I listened to episode 159 of EdTech Throwdown with Eric and Nick as they brought us the March Madness bracket of 16 tools in 4 different categories and some Viewers' Choice Awards for some of those categories. So take a listen. They give a good review about what those tools are about. A lot of great things going on in there, some things that I'm reminded of. And so doing these things helps us remember some of the great tools that are out there that we may have forgotten about. All right, I got to go get my bag, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Have a fabulous evening. I will. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, PLN Day 1. Spring Q is here. I'm in Palm Springs, California, and got up this morning and I went for a walk, and I'm about 5.5 kilometers of walking, and I listened to episode 290. Hang on a second, I'll be right back. Episode 272 of My EdTech Life with Fonz Mendoza, and he had on guest Nika McGee, Dr. Nika McGee out of Texas, and they were talking about AI and beyond the hype of AI and things that to consider as you move forward. So it's important that we don't not read the user agreements with these tools. We got to look at all of the information of where they're taking our data, what is going on, and a caution that Dr. McGee made for chief technical officers in districts is to be mindful about signing contracts with companies for long term, like beyond a year, because things can change. In our world today, with technology rapidly changing as fast as it is, making a deal with a newer ed tech company for more than a year at a time can be problematic. Something to consider, something to think about. But there's a lot of great things that we can do with AI. She even admits that, says that, and we need to, keep our eyes wide open as we use these tools. I'm looking forward to learning about some AI things at the conference this weekend, and I will report back to you on some of the things I see and do. All right, that's all I got. Going to bring you some hellos from some people over the course of the next couple days, and I'll include them in the podcast at the end of the week. All right, talk to you. Bye. Hey, PLN, March 22, 2024. This is day 2 of Spring Q, up early this morning, and not at 5 a.m., but a bit later at 6, and got out to enjoy this beautiful sunrise behind me. It's amazing. I'm walking along the river trail here in the south of downtown Palm Springs, near my hotel, and yes, enjoying some fresh air. It's plus 16 degrees Celsius, and I turned on this morning a New to Me podcast. And this New to Me podcast, I learned about it yesterday from a presenter at Spring Q, Ashley Yazerlu. I probably pronounced your name wrong. Ashley, my apology. But I went to her session, and she was talking about the golden ticket to student engagement. And she had this wonderful Willy Wonka chocolate factory theme in her slides. And I learned about the golden ticket. It's quite amazing that we as teachers need to have credibility with our students in order for them to feel safe and to engage in their learning. So, above all, keep that credibility high. Okay, I listened to episode 19 of the Blending In podcast that Ashley hosts, and she talked with, on episode 19, Danielle Adams out of the Hemet Unified School District, who teaches ELA at a middle school. And she talked about the modern classroom project, about, how she has found this method of delivering instruction in a blended learning environment to her students, tracking their progress, having them work together if they're on the same part of the progress, and all those things. Quite fascinating. Thank you, Danielle, for sharing with us. I appreciate that. And you should go take a listen to this too if you are struggling with how to get it all done with your students. She talked about the magic of it and about student engagement and safety in our classroom. All right, that's all I got for right now. Probably got one more thing coming up, and I'll bring that to you in a little bit. Thanks, bye. One more thing for March 22, 2024. It's a bit later now, and I'm heading up to Adobe Express Coffee here at Coffee, K-O-F-F-I. And so heading there to connect with some people. And yesterday, I connected with many. So I'm going to try to name them all that I've put pictures on Twitter. And I just wanted to give a shout out to. I connected with Ben Cogswell first thing in the morning. And then after that, I ran into Jeffrey Heil, and then Tanya Averith, and Claudio Zavella Jr. I talked with Kimberly Volk, ran into her. I hung out with my buds, Brian Briggs and Ryan O'Donnell, the whole time. So that's why I didn't mention them right at the top, because I've been hanging out with them, and it's pretty good. So yes, also later in the day, I ran into Matt Rhodes, and also Ann Cosmo, who's going to be the keynote for this afternoon for Spring Q. So it was really good to connect with all these people, see them, and yeah, it's fantastic community here at Q. I'm just impressed with the level of engagement. Everybody's walking around in their branded t-shirts. They all got school t-shirts on. They've got company t-shirts on. They've got it's awesome. It's fantastic. We can have an idea who everybody is just at a glance. All right. I'm still walking right now, and I'm getting there. I'm almost there, I think. Maybe it's over there. Yeah, it's over there. So I got to go back a little bit to the west. All right. We'll talk to you soon, and have yourself a fabulous day. If I missed you, I'm sorry, because that's the problem with naming names. It's because you're going to miss somebody, and then you'll feel bad. Okay, thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Okay, one that came to mind that I missed was Sarah Candela from Swivel, and it was good to connect with her. I interviewed on her podcast a bit ago, and so you can go back and listen to the Optimalist podcast to hear that. All right, thanks.
Hey, PLN, it's late on March 22nd, 2024. Just heading back to my motel away from the Spring Q site, and it's been a fantastic day. Really good day. Started off with fresh air at 5 early this morning, and I'm ending with a walk now, getting some fresh air, enjoying that. As I went through my day today, I went to some sessions and connected with some people and went to the sticker swap, which was ridiculous. It was so much fun. A lot of people brought stickers. We traded stickers, talked about our stickers, talked about why we have our thing, and handed a lot of fresh air at 5 stickers, collected a lot of stickers from people, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun. All right, some of my learning today went to a newsletter for school using Wakelet, Loom, and artificial intelligence to be able to, put out content for your school. So there's some good ideas that I got there at that about our school newsletter at AVS. So that's something I'm going to take back and do a little bit of implementing about ways to streamline maybe our process. As I went through the rest of my day, I worked with Ryan and Brian as we Check This Out podcast, and hung out with them as we prepped for Q game night. And it was games that Ryan and Brian have put together, and it was a lot of fun tonight. People came out, we played Let's Make a Deal, gave away some prizes that they brought down. It was so much fun, so good. Towards the end of the evening, I met Joe Marquez, and host from the Sons of Technology podcast, and it was pretty fun to be able to connect with him, because I've been listening to him and Kyle for a while in the past on my podcast. All right, that's all I've got. This is the end of episode 163 of Fresh Air at 5. I'm gonna put this together, get this posted, hopefully before I go to bed tonight, if I got decent Wi-Fi back at the hotel. All right, have a good one, and happy Friday to you.
I appreciate you giving me a listen as I've created this podcast experience for you. It's like a unique Blinkist or Coles Notes version of the content I take in, like a highlight reel, so that you can hopefully find some other interesting podcasts you may not have considered before. I've recorded the specific episode podcast titles and episode numbers in the show notes, which are only a click or swipe away for your learning convenience. I've also started to put together a Spotify playlist of each of the episodes so that you can also take a listen to those specifically, and the link to that playlist is in the show notes. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. And if you enjoy this podcast and its format, share it with someone else. You can also follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Brian Carr, BRYONCAR, or at Fresh Air at 5. Tweet about your experience or give it a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Fresh Air at 5 can be found on the Educational Podcast Network. Podcasts for educators, podcasts by educators. I hope you have a fantastic day. Get some fresh air before the day is out, and take care of yourself, because you are worth it.